This is James and Kara, and we are Kerouac Cruising.
We are taking you on a journey, traveling the country with our dogs and finding remote places where the dogs
And us
can roam free and play while we discuss life's growths, beauty, and some struggles along the way.
We recommend pairing our episodes with our blog at kerouacscruising.com, where we organize accurate information in an easy-to-follow format, removing all of the conversational goodies.
The link for this episode's blog post is in the show notes.
We encourage you to join the conversation by commenting where you listen, engaging with us on Facebook or Instagram at Kerouac Cruising, or email us at join@kerouacscruising.com.
In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the journey.
Good morning.
Hi, James and Kara, Kerouac's Cruising. Today, we're going to talk about our time leaving Glacier and getting to Red Lodge, Montana to meet some friends. So when we looked at it from our campsite, Hungry Horse Reservoir, which I really hope everybody visits to see Glacier, you're going to leave there. And we looked at it, and it was about 8-hour drive to Red Lodge. And we said it in many episodes. I know 8 hours doesn't seem like a long day in the car, but it's too long for us in the car. And I challenge anybody, if you're going on a road trip, I would keep it under 6 hours a day. Really, we go for 5 hours a day.
8 hours when you think about it, with pee breaks, stopping for lunch, whether you're eating out or just going to eat lunch, dog pee breaks, give them the chance to run around and stretch their legs. It really is a 10-hour day by the end of it. And then forget about it if you end up with any traffic issues. There's some kind of construction, an accident, or a detour of some sort, whatever it ends up being, your trip can change very quickly, weather, whatever it is. So we try to plan 4 hours is our goal. James has mentioned in the past, that's about 1 tank of gas for most cars is 4 hours of driving time, but definitely 6 hours is our maximum because that's really an 8-hour day by the end of it.
And it's a long day.
It's a long day.
This trip from Glacier to Red Lodge, we split it up. And we split it up. The first day was 4.5 hours to where we were going to stop. So we left Glacier, and it was a spectacular ride.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't realize how beautiful Montana is, because we're going right down through the heart of it right now. We're right in the center of the state, and we're driving from Glacier to Red Lodge and then continuing south to home. We left Glacier,
or Lakeview
Campground, Hungry Horse, and we headed on the 2 back west, and then we took Highway 206 down, and you'll see it on our blog, so look at our blog, and we'll have it posted, our route.
It's a great route if you're going to do the Glacier to Yellowstone trip.
It's Glacier to Yellowstone is super.
And this is East Yellowstone, not West Yellowstone. This is coming in the Lamar Valley. That's where Red Lodge is outside of. So if you're going to make that trip, I think the Lamar Valley was gorgeous. I think it's a great way to go in. You get to take in Beartooth Pass, which hopefully we'll have a future episode about. But it's a great ride. This is a great way to get down. It's so scenic. It's beautiful. And there is an abundance of camping. None of this stuff came up in a Google search when we drove through. Go ahead, babe. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's she can still talk. So we just headed south, and we eventually were on the 83. And what an amazing ride going through the mountains. We had mountains on both sides of us, and we're just
This is really the heart of the Rocky Mountains. I mean, we're just driving through these beautiful lakes. They're from snow runoff, whatever. Huge, huge lakes. Just so much water, so much trees. The mountains were gorgeous. It was just a beautiful ride. We were in dense mountains on either side of us. We're just driving through the valley in between ranges. It was really, really beautiful.
Some of the lakes undeveloped. So we're like, man, we got to try to find property here.
Yeah.
And then some of them, there's houses built on islands on these lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Just craziness. But it was a spectacular ride. We stopped, so we needed some water and some supplies, and we weren't quite sure where we were going to get those. We just knew we needed them before we went to the next camp spot. We just figured we're going to check the whole way as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, right on the highway that we were traveling, so we didn't have to exit off, we came into this little town, and it's probably where everybody re-ups on their supplies. It was called Sealy.
Right off the Sealy Lake.
And man, they had an auto parts store. They had an Ace Hardware. They had a little grocery store market. What else did they have?
Oh, they had a Polaris store.
They had a Polaris store.
They had a water station, an ice station. They were all in one.
So we got everything. Oh, and one of my lights weren't working.
Yeah, one of our trailer lights.
Lights weren't working. So it had everything we needed there.
Yeah.
And it was a great stop. We refreshed on water. We got the little bit of groceries we needed. We got gas. I checked the oil, all that fun stuff. but it was a great, cute town. They had every place you go now, little
They
towns
had
have
a
3 to
couple of
4
ice cream shop,
yeah, 3 to 4
espresso.
coffee shops.
Yeah, yeah. So it definitely was a walking town where it would be a cool spot. We were anxious because we had just cleaned up camp in the morning, which let me tell you, in the future, we keep talking about we would like to be able to stay places for a longer period of time. We're transitioning from one location to another. We're kind of on a timeline because we want to have enough time to spend at home before we come back up to Idaho for Christmas. But these turnover campsites are kind of terrible. We clean up camp in the morning, drive our 4 hours during the day so that we can set up camp while we can enjoy a little bit of sunshine and enjoy a little bit of camp. So we didn't really give ourselves enough time to be able to check out this town. I mean, we got there a little early anyways,
The
not everything was open, but it's a walking town. You could definitely walk up and down each side of the road,
and the
stop at different
biggest
shops and go shopping and
and the biggest thing she's saying is today was particularly hard because we had a refresh, but we also had a call we had to get on.
Yeah, yeah, we were on a timeline. Yep.
So we were on a timeline. So we resupplied in Sealy and whatever, had a little snack, and then we continued on our journey. And we're heading toward Blackfoot Clearwater Wildlife Management. That's where we're slotted the camp. That's where we found some free camping. And again, it was 4.5 hours from our previous camp spot. So we pull in, we never know what to expect. We never know if we're going to find a great spot because anybody can go here. It's free. It's
Mhm.
first come, first serve. We try to go early to make sure we're one of the first ones there to get that campsite. So we pull in, we drive down this road, and probably the third campsite in was set back. We had wilderness all around us, big tall trees for shade,
Mhm.
but clear enough trees that we could set up Starlink
Mhm.
and collect a little solar for our solar generator. So it ended up being a great spot. We had to set up for a call. We set up for that call. We ate some more food, had a drink, set up our shower, and then jumped on that call. So we didn't even spend a lot of time, just one night in Blackfoot Clearwater.
And so let me first of all talk about that a little bit, how much of a game changer that is for us. So previously, because I've kind of always worked remotely here and there, and then with the podcast now, whenever we had to do work, we're like trying to make sure we can find a town where we've got decent cell phone service, we're parked somewhere on the side of the road while we work from the car. And it's kind of has added a lot of stress. So before we went on this trip home, we purchased Starlink. And then right after we purchased it, they actually upgraded their service. So they must have had enough satellites now. So we had gotten the mobile, which was a 15-minute setup, and you would have internet as long as, you were facing the north, whatever. So they've upgraded it to where you don't have to have a full view of sky. So I guess Elon must have enough satellites up there now. You don't have to have a full view of the sky, and you can be roaming, like physically moving
Driving.
and have internet. So that's kind of a game changer for us. We haven't, because we haven't mounted the thing. We haven't tried it moving to see how good it works. But at Lakeview Campground, we were in some pretty dense forest and really only had clear sky directly above us. And we were getting something like 109 megabytes per second as far as internet goes, which is great for a house. Forget about being mobile. So that's been a game changer for us. And then James had purchased a solar generator. So this is a self-contained box about the size of a typical generator that uses solar power to charge it, and then you have electricity wherever you have it. It's got four
Lithium battery.
lithium battery. Yep, it's got 400-watt solar panels that just fold up into like a suitcase that is easy to stow away. So that's been really, really awesome for us. So between the Starlink and the solar generator, what is it, EcoFlow?
EcoFlow, yeah.
EcoFlow. It's been a game changer for us being able to keep going with this podcast without it being a stressful experience. And so we've
We
got
can do
internet
it. We're
anywhere.
sitting at camp and we can do it
Yeah.
while we're just sitting outside
Yep.
enjoying the weather.
So,
So,
and our call was a video chat or a Zoom meeting. We were being interviewed for a podcast for Wonderful Morrison's Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast, which was a super, super great interview. Definitely links to that interview in our show notes.
and it was a great interview because she kept it great.
Yeah.
She
Yep.
really kept the conversation moving. She asked great questions.
Yep.
She was really good host.
Yep.
Really, I enjoyed the podcast interview immensely.
Yep.
So thank you, Wonderful, for a great podcast interview.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. It was really exciting, but we had that deadline. We had that call with Wonderful that we needed to get to. And it was awesome because we were able to pull in, like James said, set up our shower real quick and plug everything in. And then we were live to go. I mean, it was quick and easy. I think it took us longer to set up our screen tent for shade than it took us to set up our satellite internet and our electricity. So that was really really great. It's been again, a game changer for us in our camping experiences because we get to be off grid but still get to work, and that's really awesome.
So we stayed overnight there. We had a great camp spot. We were in bear country again,
Mhm.
so still stressful. The dogs did play immensely there. They had a great time. We were in the middle of nowhere, and we really only ran into two vehicles that had went by
Yeah.
through the whole time we were there. So another great private spot in between Glacier and
We
Yellowstone.
were in the trees, but on the edge of a meadow, so you could just see. I mean, it seemed like miles, a couple miles at least, through this meadow to a mountain ridge on the other side, and it was beautiful, beautiful views. Again, check out our blog for those pictures.
And we packed up camp that night because we knew we were leaving
Mhm.
in the morning. So we had very little to do. We always leave the rocket stove out to be able to make coffee. And then on a travel day, we just have grain cereal, basically.
Yeah.
We had bowls out to have cereal. So then we got up early and got on the road, and we thought that we were going to be able to find a convenience store really quickly because we both had to use the restroom. And we get on the road, and
Middle of nowhere.
we're driving and we're just like, oh, there's going to be a store. And nope, we didn't get a store. We didn't get a store. And I had to go and I was like, well, we're coming to this town in like 20 miles. I'm just going to pull over right here. And they had a little viewing area of this lake. So I pull over and I was just going to pee because I really was just trying to relieve my poop, really. And couldn't do it. I ended up, we have a portable toilet.
Mhm.
So I was like, quickly got the portable toilet out, set it up in the back tire of the truck,
Oh, it was hilarious. I'm
and
like, "What is he doing?" I'm
she's
still
in the
sitting in the
passenger
truck.
seat, and I yell in, "Can you bring me my coffee?"
I look out, he's sitting on our portable toilet viewing this. I think it was called Nevada Lake, actually, or Nevada Reservoir. He's viewing this lake, and yeah, I mean, he didn't actually want his coffee, he was just
I was giving
making
her a
a
hard
joke.
time, but it was just one of those times that it wasn't making it 20 miles.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those, we try not to use it. Obviously, who wants to poop in a bucket? So it's kind of our last resort thing, but it's one of those things that when you don't have it, you regret not having it. It's one of those you want to make sure you have it as a backup emergency situation.
And we eat a lot of beets, so and I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever eat beets, but it makes
Well,
your poop red and it makes you want to poop.
and when you're traveling, a lot of the time people have a hard time going to the bathroom, and so we try to do things like probiotic rich foods. The beets that we're eating are fermented. We drink a lot of kombucha and things like that to help keep our system moving because there's nothing more uncomfortable than being on vacation and feeling bloated and nasty the whole time. It's the worst thing in the world to me. You don't want to hike, you don't want to move around, you don't want to do much of anything, take a nap. So
So one of the things, so that was our big funny morning. So we continued, and one of the things that we needed to do, so we had been on the road now 5 days leaving my son's house, and I don't know about anybody, but laundry starts piling up.
Yeah.
So on the way to our friend's house in Red Lodge, which we probably could have
We
used
could have
their
done
laundry
laundry.
facility, but we're washing our blankets. We literally did three
Towels,
loads. We
yeah.
did 3 loads of laundry at the
Yeah.
laundromat. So, and
And
we were
that's one of them was a big washer with all of our blankets and stuff. So it probably in a normal washer machine would have been 4 to 6 loads of laundry. It would have been a lot.
so we're gonna go do laundry, and we're gonna get some food for our friend's house
Mhm.
to be able to cook for them because they're letting us stay there really Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night.
Yeah, and with our dogs, no matter how kind somebody is and wants you to visit them, having a bunch of dogs is a
Three
lot. It
dogs.
wears on a person.
We stop in the town, so we leave Blackfoot Clearwater in the morning. We gonna try to get to Red Lodge. They get out of work at between 5:30 and 6. We're gonna try to be at that town same time, but we're really trying to get there a little early.
Mhm.
We leave in the morning. We have the break. I take a poop, and then we're gonna go to this big town, and I think it's Montana's capital,
Yeah, Helena.
Helena, however
Helena.
you say it. And we found a laundromat right across the street from a Safeway. So
Glorious.
so we go start our laundry, and then we go to Safeway, buy some groceries, go back, finish our laundry, and on our way to Red Lodge.
Mhm.
Get back on the road and, get to Red Lodge. Red Lodge is, if nobody's ever been there, it is a great entrance for Yellowstone.
Well, before we get into that, I just want to make the note that along the route, I do think it's important to try to plan for the lack of stress looking on your Google Maps ahead of time when you're coming into towns if you need to do things like laundry and grocery shopping, trying to find them as close together as possible. Because we've definitely done it where we stop in one town for one thing and then we stop in the next town for the next thing. And so you're making so many stops. It worked out really nice for us that it was pretty much catty corner, the laundromat to the Safeway.
While the clothes were drying, it was a perfect amount of time to do our shopping
Yep.
and then get back over and take the laundry out of the dryer. It really worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's a great way to plan things. Ideally, obviously, if it's close to camp, even better.
So we were getting to Red Lodge to meet our friends, and we had already decided. We communicated with them. We bought food, but the food was for the next couple days. We decided when we got there, because we were going to be had driven all day and they
They
were
would
at
have
work
worked.
all day. So we decided we would bring them out to dinner. And we let them choose the spot, and it was a spot that they have never been to, but heard had the best burgers in town. So I'm all about that. So and it was called the Snag Bar. So we get there, the dogs settle in because we left the dogs. And you know how you get to somebody's house, you just never know how it's going to go. But really went well. The dogs really well behaved. And the dogs had met him before.
Hmm.
They had actually watched Norman for us a few times when he was a really small puppy. So the dogs really, I felt they adjusted pretty quickly.
Hmm.
We unloaded because, again, we're in Red Lodge, Montana's bear country. They had bear come right through the backyard one of the nights we were there.
Hmm.
Super cool.
So we unloaded all of our food from our trailer to prevent an issue.
We put everything, we brought everything, all the food we brought into the house,
Hmm.
plus our groceries and stuff. They had towels ready for us. So we jumped in the shower, took showers, and then we walked because they're pretty close to
It's a nice walking
this
town.
little town is like a walking town also.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a bunch of little stuff, and one of the things that was cool, and we'll talk about in a minute.
Hmm.
So we walked to the Snag Bar. On our way to the Snag Bar, we're walking by the theater,
And it's one of
and
those old timey theaters that probably been there for over 100 years. They were renovating it, right?
yeah, and what
Yeah.
did it say?
So it had that
The
Ghostbusters mini,
Ghostbusters
or not, what is it? A Ghostbusters station
station
wagon
wagon.
parked up front. And it said, Ghost exorcism desperately needed, closed until further notice.
It was
So it
awesome.
was awesome. We were cracking up. We were like, oh, when we come by tomorrow, we need to make sure we get a picture of that. They were done the next day. They
They
were
were
taking
done.
it down.
They were open back up for business. So it was. I really would have liked to get a
It
picture of
was
that because I've
awesome.
never seen anybody close a movie theater, and what a way to close it.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean, to
fun.
keep it fresh, it
Yeah.
was cool as hell, funny and awesome, and the car was just
It looked
gravy
authentic.
over the top.
Yeah, it looked authentic.
It was cool. So we go to the snack bar. Nice gentleman served us, and
It's a nice little dive bar. It was,
it's a nice dark. The prices were right.
yeah,
We got
you're
a half
talking,
pound burger for $13.95.
yeah, you're talking, we're at the gateway to the northeast entrance to the Yellowstone National Park, and we're used to Grand Canyon prices. I mean, that's a real, for a half pound burger, and it was a good burger served on a pretzel roll.
The pretzel, so the snag burger is the one they recommended. The
Hmm.
guy even came over, said the best thing on the menu is the snag burger. Comes with 3 kinds of cheese, like 4 slices of bacon on a half pound burger.
It was a lot of food.
So, and then you can get whatever side you want. But we all got the snag burger.
Hmm.
Cheap beer, cheap burgers, good food, good atmosphere.
Hmm.
Like 6 or 8 TVs,
They had,
all sport.
most of their drafts were actually craft beers, which I love that about local bars. I think, support local. Everybody wants the Coors Lights and the bullshits, but I really like the craft beer, trying beer
Just
from
drink
different
Coors Light and be quiet.
locations, drinking beer from the different locations. And I'm pretty confident I think every beer on draft was a craft beer, a local craft beer. So that was really awesome. But yeah, it was a great spot to go. And and we went to another bar last time we were there and we weren't
Yeah,
as
well, the
impressed.
food wasn't good.
No, so
We had visited them a year or something before.
yeah, last August.
It was a good start. We had a great night.
Yep.
We went back to the house and it was just fun. We haven't seen these guys in a while. One of the exciting things that they're doing in Red Lodge, and we didn't get to interview them, but we do want to interview them. They are
When we brought it up, we got a hard no.
yeah,
So
they're from Philadelphia. It's hardcore city living, and they went on a cross country trip.
10
So,
months.
yeah, 10 months, and they discovered Red Lodge, and that's where they decided they wanted
to plant
lay
their
their
roots.
roots. And one of the things that the gentleman wants to do, and they're just working normal jobs,
Hmm.
too much because they only get 2 days off. You just can't get much done in 2 days. We
Especially when you
disrupted
live in a
their
rural area.
yeah, we disrupted their routines, so they didn't get nothing done. They didn't even do their Walmart that's
Yeah, they're
45
go
minutes
to
away.
town for grocery shopping.
So we had a great time anyways.
They're
He,
opening a cheesesteak stand, essentially,
Yep, they bought a
in
little
Red Lodge.
building, like a shed, in a great corner location by the hardware store and the grocery store
Mhm.
and the high school in this town.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's got this corner and he's got these three
Major
central
draws.
draws. You
Mhm.
know, he's right outside where the football field is. And he has nothing else going on. Like he said, he's just gonna be there all the time. If he can
Mhm.
make money, he's gonna be open. And he's just doing Philly style, just steak and cheese and chicken cheese,
Mhm.
and just on one bun. He's making it simple, and I really think he's gonna do
And
a
he's
good
doing
job.
authentic. He's doing it real Philadelphia style. You see a Philly cheesesteak on just about every menu in every restaurant you go to, and they're not authentic. Not only are the rolls not authentic, but the toppings that they put on it isn't authentic. And BB's going to do it right. He's going to show the world what a real Philly cheesesteak is.
At least he's gonna show Red Lodge, Montana,
Well,
and
everybody.
the entrance of the
Yellowstone National
Yellowstone
Park.
National
Yeah,
Park.
everybody from all over the world comes to Red Lodge. Not everybody, but people from all over the
So
world.
it's not a sit-down restaurant.
Mm-mm, it's
It's just
grab
going to
and
be a
go.
walk-up window, and hopefully they get some kind of online ordering. They haven't opened yet. We got to check it out. We got to give them some our
Expertise
expertise because
and
that's what we did
advice.
most of our life. It was a good visit, and
He's
there's
hope.
more to it. This is we're just getting the Red Lodge.
Yeah.
We're going to have an episode more on Red Lodge and
Disperse camping and hiking, hopefully, in the
dispersed
area.
camping, hiking, and Beartooth Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And Beartooth Pass is, we tried to take it last year and we missed the road and we thought we took a spectacular road, but then we learned afterwards we didn't take the right road. So we're excited to take Beartooth Pass, and that really goes right to Lamar Valley. We did go through Lamar Valley, and it's just a cool, there's a little mining town that we'll talk about in the
Mm-hmm.
future episode, but we haven't gathered that information yet. So we're just excited to do
Yeah.
the hiking and Beartooth Pass and Red Lodge.
Yep.
So we're going to do another episode then. And did you want to talk more about Wonderful?
Oh,
Our interview that we
yeah,
had?
I'll put the link in the show notes here. I really would love you guys to listen to our interview, because not only does she ask us great questions about podcasts as a business and what our goals are for it and where we're looking to get for it, but she also, what it took us to get and decide that this was time, we were going to go for it and do it. But she's getting ready to go on a big road trip herself. Her goal and dream is for her and her husband to buy an RV for each other for Christmas, and then they're going to hit the road. She works remotely. She can work from anywhere, but they've never done anything like this. Like, we've had the background of having lived off grid. We lived in a camper trailer for a while. We've always camped kind of as a hobby of ours. So we have a lot of background going into this, where we already kind of had our brain wrapped around what we were doing and what we need to make our life easier. But she's doing this having no idea. So she asked us a lot of really great questions for if you want to go on a camping road trip, or you may want to travel as a lifestyle for some time. Some really great starting pointers are in that episode. So it's a great episode to listen to. So that's Wonderful Morrison's Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast.
Until next time, thanks for joining us, and please join the conversation.
Thanks for listening. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Kerouac's Cruising.
We're thrilled to have you with us.
We had a blast recording this episode and hope you enjoyed our adventures as much as we enjoyed sharing them.
For more amazing pictures and stories, visit our website and blog at kerouacscruising.com.
And join the conversation on Facebook at Kerouac's Cruising, or email us at join@kerouacscruising.com.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving us a review.
Your support helps us reach more listeners and allows us to continue sharing our travel experiences with you.
It's a generous favor that means the world to us.
Thank you so much for listening to Kerouac's Cruising.
Until next time, happy travels.